All right, good afternoon once again, and you're welcome. I'm going to go through with you again this afternoon. On Good Afternoon Ghana, this has to do this afternoon. We're dealing with polls that we've been giving you, some details of it each time it's conducted by the Global Info Analytics. This afternoon, we're with them again. But the special thing about it is that this afternoon is going to be on, 3 different areas of the polls that's being conducted by the Institute. So it is on Tema West. We'll be dealing with Tema West constituency. We'll be dealing with the TROBU constituency, and we'll be dealing with Ecowas as well. What exactly has he done, or has the Global Info Analytics done on Ecowas? We'll bring you the details as well. The team has been helping us understand some of these things and how the trend is going when it comes to the polls that they've been collating. My name is Anne Fampof. I'll be with Mr. Musa Dankwa. But for now, let's go for a breather. When I come back, I'll introduce him. All right, dear, welcome back to the program. It's Good Afternoon, Ghana. And like I said earlier, we're dealing with 3 different polls this afternoon on Tema West, on TROBU constituency, also on Ecowas as well. So on this note, let me introduce the guest for you this afternoon. It's Mr. Musa Dankwa, who is the Executive Director for the Global Info Analytics. He's joined us in the studio. Thank you as always. We're grateful for your time.
Annie.
Great. So a special post, as you captioned it, if you look at the screen, is going to do the touchscreen analysis on that for us to understand. Why the need for a special post on Tema West constituency especially?
Annie, you remember when we do our main polls and we see some signals that a major constituency may be showing some sign of issues, we tend to go back.
Okay.
Remember we did one in July and we mentioned Medina as a trouble area. Tema West was also cited as one of the areas that was looking a bit not clear, as well as TROBU. What we do is to go back with a larger sample size to confirm what the poll was showing in the major national tracking, or deny that fact. So that's exactly what we did on this occasion. We went back to Tema West with a larger sample size to see what was going on there.
All right, so let's go through then.
I'm not going to go through this,
okay,
but just go to the chart, because that we interviewed 521 voters in Tema West. We had a 95% confidence level and 4.3% margin of error. We interviewed voters in 7 out of the 11 electoral areas in Tema West, and we interviewed all voters. We went to Halkro, Kasajan, Railways, Sakumono, Bachona, Lashibi, and Ajekojo. And this shows the size of the samples assigned to these areas. And this is based on the number of voters who live and vote in these electoral areas. Now, 53% of the respondents were female. Male were 47. With regard to educational level, junior high 36, senior high 44%, tertiary 20%, and no education 1%, very low. It is a well-educated constituency. Employment status, 88% of the people we interviewed were employed. That is very good. Unemployed, 8%. Students were 5%, and pensioner, none in the sample we picked. Now, ethnicity, 44% were Akans, Gan Adangbe, 28%, the Ewas were 24%, and others were the remaining 4%. That demography of Tema West. Party affiliation, not too far apart. MPP, 46%, NDC, 43%, floating voters, 8%, none for other parties, and 3% did not disclose their party affiliation. So it's not skewed at all. They are quite neck and neck, roughly. We asked them, do they believe that Ghana is headed in the right direction or wrong direction? Right direction, 22%. Wrong direction, 72%. no opinion 5%. Usually, these tend to favor the opposition when you have huge number of people saying that we're headed in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Usually. We asked them whether they approved of the way Nado is doing his job as president. 24% approve, 71% disapprove, 5% no opinion. So Tema West is ripe for disturbances in terms of electoral dynamics. But let's see whether it's really the case. We asked them to rate the performance of their incumbent or the current MP. Excellent, 9%. Very good or good, 27%. Average, 44%. Poor or very poor, 23%. No opinion, none. So it's not doing bad at all. If you look at the excellent, very good, and the average, I mean, it's quite good performance for a sitting MP. Then we wanted to know how they would vote in the MPP primaries, upcoming MPP primaries. We did not have any name except Natoshi. So we pegged Natoshi against the incumbent, Carlos Ahinkra. And in that instance, 48% of Tema West prefer the incumbent, Carlos Ahinkra. 46% prefer Natoshi to lead MPP. 1% said someone else. I will not vote 2%, not sure 3%. This is a dead heat because our margin of error was over 4%. So it is way within the margin of error. It means this race is a dead heat if she decides to contest Tema West. Then we did a scenario between Carlos Ahinkra and the NDC candidate for Tema West, lawyer James Enu. We asked them, if the elections were between Carlos Ahinkra and lawyer James Enu, who would you vote for? 56% of them said they are voting for Carlos Ahinkra. 43% are voting for James Enu. None for other candidates, not sure 1%. So at the moment, NDC is behind in Tema West. Yes. And looking at the nature of people's response with regards to the direction of the country, NDC is not taking advantage. It means that this MP is likely, if he goes this way, to retain his seat. In his seat. Then we said, assuming it is not
because the direction percentage is quite high.
Yes, so wrong direction. So it gives you a feeling that okay, people think things are not going well. Yeah. And normally they tend to favor opposition candidates, right, but not in Tema West. Okay. We also pegged Natoshi, if she is a candidate, against the NDC's candidate. Nothing changes much. Natoshi, 54%. NDC candidate, 46%. So he's still behind any of the options available to MPP. Now, let's look at the results per electoral area. It gives you a lot of insight at what's going on there. In Haukru, Carlos Ahinkra is the blue color on 66%. James Enu, 34%. Kasajan, 61%, 39%. Railways, 91%. Carlos, 6%. James Enu. Sakumono, 54%. Ahinkra, and 46% Enu. Bachona, 63% Carlos. 37% James. Lashibik, 66% Carlos, 33% Enu. It is only in Ajay Kojo that James Enu wins 70% to 30%. So he is dominant across the 6 electoral areas.
That's Carlos.
Carlos.
Okay.
When you flip the race between Natoshi and James Enu, the same story is repeated, except for in Bachona, in which case Natoshi loses Bachona and loses marginally Ajay Kojo. Marginally in Ajay Kojo. So you could see that Tema West at the moment is not looking good for NDC.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the party affiliation of how they are voting, 93% of MPP are voting for Ahinkra. 14% are voting for James Enu. And 68% of floating voters are voting for Ahinkra. That is where NDC have had an issue. They're not getting the floating voters. And
So
those who did
the
not
party is literally doing nothing in a constituency, I think.
no.
I don't think it's showing at all.
No, no. It means that it's probably the weakest candidate at the moment
Yeah.
in Tema West. The same thing is repeated when against Natoshi. Just that he wins NDC 76%, and then he wins again those who are not disclosed people. So frankly speaking, Tema West does not look that good for NDC. And then briefly in the MPP race, Bawumia is on 48% in Tema West, and Alan on 41%, Ken on 9.5%. And in the runoff, it is Bawumia 50.6, Alan 49.4. Very, very close in Tema West. In the general election, Bawumia 48.4, Mahama 50.1. So Mahama is winning slightly, leading slightly in Tema West, even though Ahenkra is winning the parliamentary.
Yeah.
If it is against Alan, still Mahama wins 52% to 47.5%. And then when you throw in Kennedy Japan, Mahama still wins 55.7 to 43.4. So Tema West, we believe that John Mahama would carry Tema West.
At presidency level.
Not the parliamentary. And then break the 8. The question was asked whether they can break the 8. Yes, only 20 people or 20% of Tema West believe MPP can break the 8. 20% have no opinion, and a whopping 60% said no, MPP will not break the 8. So that is it for Tema West.
Good. So we can go to TROBU, right?
TROBU. TROBU,
is it okay?
The same period we were in TROBU. Sample size 437, margin of error 4.59, 95% confidence level, and all voters. Let's look at where we went in TROBU. We went to TROBU itself, Tantra, Ni Ankraman, Ofanko South, Asofa, Pukwasi, and Fise. And this is how the samples were assigned in those areas. Let's see what is happening in TROBU. 42% were female, 58% were male. Education, junior high 13%, senior high 40%, tertiary 25%, no education 25%. Employment, 70% were employed, 20% unemployed, 9% student, and none in the pensioner category. Ethnic groups heavily account, 71%, ours 7%, others 22%. So this is a very typical ripe MPP stronghold. Very, very strong. Okay.
Okay, our touches.
Ooh.
Okay, if you can help us with our touch, because I think something is
okay.
wrong. Okay, it's gone. Okay.
Now, see the party affiliation. MPP, 46%. NDC, 23%. Floating voters, whopping 30%.
Floating voters.
This is the constituency MPP used to win 66% in the general election. We have now MPP being 46% in terms of party affiliation, NDC 23%, and floating voters 30%. Direction of the country, right direction, 30%, wrong direction, 67%.
Oh, wow.
No opinion, 3%.
That's equally high.
Very, very high in your stronghold. But look at the approval of the president. Approved 40%. Disapprove 52%. No opinion 8%. It is doing quite well compared to other areas when it comes to the approval and disapproval for the president. Then we asked them to assess the performance of their MP. Excellent, 1%. Very good or good, 14%. Average, 42%. Poor or very poor, 42%. No opinion, 1%. This MP is in deep, deep trouble. Then we asked them, in the MPP primary for the parliamentary race,
wow,
who do you intend to vote for? There was no name that we could match against him, so somebody else was the obvious candidate.
Yeah.
Honorable Moses Enim, 27%
Even with someone else.
And someone else is leading, 49%.
No, I'm saying even with someone else, so that put, you know, them
Yes.
knowing who is coming up against
that
them.
someone else is on 49%. And Enim on 27%. Not sure, 10%. I will not vote, 14%. This is a clear sign that the MP has fallen out of favor in the constituency. Now, let's look at the race. If he is the candidate against Dr. John Kofi Haum, the NDC's candidate for TROBU, we asked them, who would you vote for? Enim or Dr. Haum? 26% of all voters in the constituency said they will vote for Moses Enim. 53% of all voters in TROBU said they will vote for Dr. John Kofi Haum. 14% said other candidates. Not sure, 4%. I will not vote, 2%. If this pans out the way it looks right now, the MP will be out from Parliament. It's looking very, very bad for him.
Yeah.
Even within the primaries of the MPP and at the national election in 2024. He is in deep, deep, deep trouble. And this should be a constituency where MPP should not be in trouble.
Yeah.
TROBU is deep blue. Deep blue. Now it is looking green. And that is a very big warning for the MP in the constituency. Now, we looked at how the race panned out in the various electoral areas. Look at TROBU. Moses Enim leads 46% to 38%. In Tantra, he is losing or is behind 32% to 58%. In Ni and Kraman, he is losing 7% to 93%. In Ufankosav, he is behind, so he's slightly ahead, 37% compared to NDC 36%. So here, 1% margin, but remember the margin of error is quite big. So this is the dead heat in Ufanko. When you come to Asofa, he is on 14%, NDC 26%. Look, other candidate 40% in Asofa. They don't like NDC nor MPP. They want to look elsewhere in that electoral area. And then in Pokwasi, Enim is on 19%. John Ham, 71% in Pokwasi, the largest electoral area in TROBU. He's in trouble there. He said 29% for lawyer Enim, Moses Enim, and 58% for John Ham. It is a lopsided race, absolutely hammering, and if this pans out, the MP will certainly be in a difficult situation come 2024. Now, look at the party affiliations of those who said they were MPP or NDC and how they were voting. Only 46% of MPP supporters are voting for Moses Enim. 46%. 28% of MPP supporters are voting for John Ham. 18% are voting for other candidates. 6% are not sure, and 2% said they will not vote. If you come to NDC, 6% of NDC people are voting for Enim, but 89% of them are voting for their own, John Ham. 4% of NDC are voting for other candidates. 1% will not sure, are not sure. If you look at floating voters, Enim gets only 11%, and John Ham gets 66% of floating voters. This is a clear danger. He's not winning his party's base strongly, and he's performing poorly among floating voters. This combination will surely bring him down if nothing changes. Now, in the presidential primaries in TROBU, Okay, in TROBU, 48 Baumia, Alan 41. I don't know whether this is a repeat of the Tema West one. Not quite sure. Must be a repeat. Okay. Now let's look at the race between Bawumia and Mahama. This is clear evidence that the MP is in trouble. Because Bawumia is winning TROBU 56% overwhelmingly. Mahama on 37%. I will not vote 2%. Undecided is 3%. So it's a strong MPP, but the MP is out of favor. If it is Alan wins it 56%, Mahama 38%. It is clear an MPP stronghold, but the MP could be the one that may be sacrificed. If it is Alan, Kennedy Japan, he still wins 53% against Mahama 41%. So clearly it is the MP that is in trouble. On the question of breaking the 8, TROBU, yes, 24% said MPP can break the 8. No, 32% don't believe MPP can break the 8. And 43% have no opinion whether they can break the 8. This is their stronghold. If the stronghold doesn't believe that they can break the 8, then there's a problem. So this is about Tema West and TROBU. I think that is not loaded.
We can move to...
Maybe take a break and come back.
Okay, so let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we just load up the Ecowas. Okay, but why Ecowas?
This is regarding the declaration of possible invasion of Niger in order to remove the junta that has taken over power from Bazoum. And we had a meeting last week by Chief of Defense Staff of ECOWAS in Accra that re-echoed the directive of ECOWAS that they will go in there by force to remove them. So we did a poll to see the views of Ghanaians on those issues and other matters.
All right, so let's take a break and then come back and deal with that of the ECOWAS case. You're welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. I'm with Mr. Musa Dankwa, who is Executive Director for the Global Info Analytics. We're dealing with some special polls conducted with Tema West constituency. We've also gone through the TROBU constituency as well, which both seem not to be favoring, well, is a stronghold of the MPP, but it doesn't seem to be favoring the incumbent members of parliament, especially with TROBU. TROBU is more critical. But maybe Carlos Ahenkra in Tema West probably can sail through with all the faces. Maybe you can watch on Metro TV on Good Afternoon Ghana if you missed that side. But we're going on to another, polls conducted on the ECOWAS invasion of Niger, 19th of August 2023. Let's go through what we have.
Right. Basically, we went back to the country and said, look, we are going to invade Niger. The ECOWAS bloc has authorized the use of force if the regime or the junta doesn't transfer power back to the civilians. So we asked questions around those issues. So let's see. We sampled over 1,000.
Sample size is quite big.
1,600.
Okay. Why that sample size?
Because you see, it is a sample size that will give us plus or minus 2.4% margin of error. And this is not about election. So as to the accuracy, it's not really a key here in terms of precision. So we chose 95% confidence level, 2.4% margin of error, and we interviewed people who are over 18 years, and it was field interview between 18th and 19th August.
Right.
Right. This is demographic of people we interviewed. I think it was 52%, 48%, not 42, and then 18 years, 16%. 25, 34, 30%, 35 to 44, 30%, 45 to 54, 15%, 55 to 64, 7%, and above 64 were 2% in the sample. Education, 10% had junior high, senior high, 32%, tertiary, 45%, and no education, 13% of the respondents. Now, we asked them whether they are concerned about the recent developments in West Africa in terms of the coup d'etat that is happening. 39% were extremely concerned about the development in West Africa. 45% were somehow or somewhat concerned. And then 11% were not concerned at all.
Yeah.
And 5% said they were unconcerned. So you could see that over 84 or 84% of Ghanaians that we spoke to said they were concerned about the development in the sub-region. Then we asked them whether they shared a view that some of these coups have been occasioned by bad governance in those countries. Do they share that view? 76% of the respondents said, yes, they share the view that it is bad governance that has occasioned those coup d'etats. 17% said, no, they don't believe that it's bad governance. Might be something else. And 7% did not have opinion. So people believe overwhelmingly that it is bad governance that is pushing this instability across the West African sub-region. Now look at the responses of people who said bad governance occasions coup d'etat. Junior high qualification, 77% of them said yes, it is bad governance. 16 said no. Those with the senior high, 73% said bad governance is leading the coups. 20% said no, they don't believe that. Those with tertiary education, 81% believe that it is bad governance which is causing the coup d'etats, compared to 15%. Even with those without education, they equally agree. 66% of them believe that bad governance.
Very interesting.
So bad governance is the key ingredient here, in people's mind. It's leading these countries to have those.
ECOWAS should see these polls.
I think it's very important that ECOWAS sees it.
Yeah.
And it would be very interesting that if there could be an ECOWAS-wide survey to see the opinion of ECOWAS citizens. I don't think ECOWAS has done anything like that before. Right. I'm not quite sure. But they could do that. I mean, all the 16 ECOWAS sub-regions, the poll should be conducted to see the views of people around governance and ECOWAS itself. It would probably give them a huge tons of information that they can use.
Do them a lot of good.
To improve, yes. Then we ask them, do you believe that military coups are durable solutions to bad governance in Africa? So we were asking them to think about Africa. Do they believe that coups are solutions to bad governance? 49%, almost half of the respondents, said yes, coups are solutions to bad governance. 43% of them said no, coups are not solution to bad governance. And 8% did not have opinion. For me, this is the most telling. Almost half of the respondents somehow believe that coups are a solution to bad governance in Africa.
I'm tempted to tell you my position, even though I'm not part of the sample size. Go ahead.
Then we looked at the educational level of people who were giving responses to this question. Look at it. For those with junior high qualification, 45% of them said yes, coups are durable solution to bad governance. 48% said no. So slight majority said no, it's not a solution for bad governance. And then those with senior high qualification, 42% said yes, it is a solution to bad governance. 52% said no, it is not. Now, shockingly, look at this. Those with tertiary education, 59% of them said yes, coups are solution to bad governance in Africa. 59% compared to 36%. But
is the question not a leading question?
No, it's yes or no. It's not leading. There are views the views are being expressed.
Okay.
From literature, there's so many.
It's a yes or no, so you don't.
There were a lot of literatures around coup in Africa, what is the solution for bad governance. So this question came from those literature.
Okay.
To test them whether it's really empirical or just experts writing their opinion.
Okay.
And this is what people are saying. And in Ghana here, this is their views.
And some of the literatures, what did you read from them? Did they say that they...
You see, experts...
Cool, yeah.
No, experts always say that, look, there are grievances, but the kind of freedom you enjoy under democracy can never be enjoyed under a military regime. And that freedoms cannot be sacrificed for anything. And for me, that is the most important thing.
Okay.
And then those without education, they are split in the middle. 36% said yes, solution. The same number said no, it is not. And 28% have no opinion. I think this is where we have the problem.
For our
the well-educated are on a different level to those with lower qualification. Then we ask them the question, Ghana would have to contribute troops towards the invasion of Niger. Do you support Ghana taking part in such military action in Niger? 38% of respondents said no, yes, Ghana should take part in the operations to restore democracy in Niger. 52% said no, we should not take part. 10% said they have no opinion. So
52% says do fiasem.
Do fiasem, we shouldn't go to Niger. Now look at this. Again, those with education. Junior high, 60% said we shouldn't go. Senior high, 64%. Tertiary, 44%. Those who said it's a solution, here then they're changing their mind.
Okay.
Then you have no education, 43%. So you can see the breakdown of the support in accordance with the
level of education.
Level of education. Now this is where it gets interesting. What is the regional response? The regions we have, 16 regions. What is their mind? At least we know what every region is thinking. Ahafu, 95% yes, Yanko.
Okay.
Ashanti region, only 20% support invasion. 79% said no. Bunu Ahafu, Bunu, 70% yes for invasion and 23% no for invasion. In Bunu East, 8% said yes, 85% said no, we should not invade. Central region, 29% yes, 45% no. Eastern region, 71% yes, 21% no. Greater Accra, 29% yes, 63% no. Northeast, 33% yes, 67% said no. Northern region, 38% yes, 24% said no, but 38% said they have no opinion. OT, 29% yes, 61% no. Savannah, 4% yes, 80% no. Upper East, 21% yes, 62% no. Upper West, 46% yes, 37% said no. Volta region, 49 yes, 40 no. Western region, 35% yes, 49% no. And Western North is 24% yes, and 76% no. So you could see that the regions are really diverse. It's not based on party strongholds.
No.
Views are quite different. Look, Ashanti is saying no, Eastern is saying yes.
Is Bono that's so low?
Yeah, Bono.
Yes is 8%.
Bono, yes, is yes, 70%.
Oh, no, I mean,
It's
Bono
95.
East, I mean.
Yes.
So it's Bono East region that's
Bono
8%.
is saying no from those blocks. And then we asked them, would you support Ghana's parliament to approve any decision to invade Niger to restore democracy? Yes, 36%. Parliament must approve if it comes to them. No opinion, 11%. No approval, 53%.
Wow.
The Parliament should not approve invasion of Niger if it ever comes to them.
If government is supposed to go by this, must government interpret it to mean that the country does not support?
Yes, which means they must carry the country along. If the country is standing on a different corner and they are on a different corner, they must bring the country along with them. You can't go to war without your country's backing. We also asked them, we know the implication of these instabilities and coup d'etats on our pockets. So we said, to what extent have you experienced changes in the price of essential commodities, such as meat, onion, tomatoes? These are the three main things that come from that region as a result of the crisis in Niger and instability in the neighboring Burkina Faso. 30% of respondents said they've seen significant changes in the price of these items. So the war is affecting, or the instability is affecting their pockets. They are paying more for onions, paying more for meat, paying more for tomatoes that come from that region. 25% have experienced some level of changes in those prices. So if you look at it, 55% of them are feeling the pinch right now because of the crisis. Very little changes. 26% of them say, well, little changes they've seen. 7% said they didn't see any change or they haven't seen any changes. And 13% do not even know whether there has been changes in those prices. So certainly, overwhelmingly, 55% of people
might
are
be
feeling...
even more than 55 because even very little change
it's also a change.
Should be considered as a change.
It's a change. So you're looking at close to almost 80% of voters. And that is it on the Ecowas poll.
Okay, so when it comes to the Ecowas situation, obviously, even by general opinions and analysis and consensus, the country doesn't seem
ready for war.
Yeah, I mean, almost all analysts, security analysts, are
against it,
advising
because if
the country's decision.
If you know Niger and you know the terrain of Niger and the vast nature of the Niger land, stretching to Chad, stretching to Algeria, stretching all the way to Libya, and if you speak to people who have traveled to Libya by road, you hear the true story of the desert. It is not a conventional war you will fight in the desert. We could go to Niamey, but it's closer here. But if you depose them in Niamey and they go into the hinterland, are we pursuing them? What are we going to do? If we pursue them, can we survive fighting in the desert warfare? We can't. But these are people who survive on very little water for weeks.
So
for us here,
the dynamics
are quite different.
But security should know all this, no?
No, they know. I think
a
lot of diplomacy is going behind the scene. I'm very hopeful that we will not get to that position. I'm very hopeful. Because we don't want to add more fire to what is already happening in the South.
What you've said has just scared me, but I'm not a security person, so maybe I will not understand as much as the security people will do.
No, it's a very difficult war to wage.
So what's the standby force? Do they have a special standby force or?
Well, we have standby force, so it's there. But you see, even the equipment you need to fight a war in the desert are not what we use currently here.
And as far as I'm concerned, Russia will support them.
The Wagner group understand they are reinforcing themselves there.
Exactly.
It will get very messy. So we should use diplomacy however long it takes. They've said they want to stay in power for 3 years.
For 3 years.
It's a starting point. Maybe they can pull them a bit, and 6 months or 1 year, maybe there will be a window of opportunity to avoid any conflict.
But for the polls we've just gone through, for even educated, the higher educated persons who 50% more like supports coup being the solution, 59%. That's almost 60%.
I think this mindset needs to be changed. The NCCE, the clergy, the opinion leaders should be engaging.
But what if, maybe it's because we pose the question, do you believe military coup
a durable solution?
What if we ask the question, do you believe military government is better for government?
That's a different question.
That's a yes or no.
That's a different question.
Is military, yes.
But is military
government good for Africa?
That would be a different question. You cannot relate that to this kind of question. This is simply that...
On coup.
Yes, we are saying that there's bad governance. Do you have to use coup to resolve the bad governance?
And they believe so.
They believe so. And for me, that's the worrying. So we have a lot of work to do as a country. Maybe I think what I can say is that the demography of Ghanaians today did not see coup as it happened. The kind of coup they've seen in Burkina Faso and Niger is not a typical coup that we have experienced as a country. 1979, 1981 coup, all the way to several coups in between. They were not very good.
Yeah.
And most of these guys probably didn't see that. So for them, they think the coup is just something that can be announced and then life goes on. That is not the case. In many cases, your life could be turned upside down.
I mean, I think that the last one we did has gotten me a little disturbed. It's a little confusing, you know, what people think of.
Yeah, yeah. I think there should be effort.
I appreciate the point of the current generation does not experience or has not experienced coup before.
And if you look at the age group of voters, they are quite young.
Yeah, exactly.
Under 34, and 34, Rollins was there, so they didn't see anything. But those who were 45, getting to 50, they experienced part of it. So they can tell that it's not an experience we want to go through. So the age groups probably are the ones behind that.
Anyway, Mr. Musa Dankwa, thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate what you have shared with us. Okay, so we will also be dealing with the special ones that were done, conducted on Tema West constituency and TROBU constituency, and make use of it and see how the trend is going. But also follow Metro TV as we bring you details of what will be unfolding with the special delegates Congress of the MPP that's coming off as well. And we'll bring you all the details. Metro TV, your election central, will get you updates. My name is Ania Fompo. Thanks for watching.